Mr. President, be quiet.
John, calm down.
Listen to the woman, John. Calm down. Just calm down. Calm down. Just calm down.
I don't know what to say about this. Jesus Christ. This is my review of a movie that I saw recently called Barbarian. I'm filming this at my sister's house right now. That's why I'm talking low, because everybody is like asleep right now. But I want to make this quick and short as possible if I can, but Jesus Christ. There was like a teetering line where the movie like was being horrifying for me. Like the tension was there. Like the tension in that movie was there in the beginning. And yet somehow the horror was still there, but it started to get silly and ridiculous to actually almost hilarious. Not hilarious in a way where you start to laugh like hard, but it's a hilarious where you're just speechless and like shocked at the direction this movie goes. And I'm not sure about it. Like, I don't know if this is a good movie or is this a bad movie, or if it was intentionally hilarious at the point. But then again, Zach Cregger, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he directed this movie. And if you don't know who he is, he was one of the founders and creators of the show Whitest Kids You Know. And basically these guys, like the group has been doing comedy for the longest time. They did the movie Miss March and that show, which I think that's about it. I don't know if they did anything else after that. I'm not an expert on them. All I know is that back then they did comedy, and I feel like this is becoming a trend now in movies where where people who've done comedy all their life are starting to do like horror, and somehow they're really good at it. Like Jordan Peele, he's been doing comedy for a long time. Like he was in Mad TV with Keegan, and then him and Keegan went on to do their show Key and Peele, and then they did the movie Keanu. And after that, like, he out of nowhere started doing horror, which is crazy. And it's amazing how people who did comedy before start to do like horror at the next. Like, it's like with actors who've done comedy all their lives, and then they start to branch out to drama, and they are surprisingly, shockingly good at it. Like, they're great at emotion and such. Barbarian is a good example of like a director who's done comedy start to branch out in horror. And I kind of mean that in a good way, because we had David Gordon Green and Danny McBride who've done comedic stuff in the past, and they did Halloween trilogy, and that didn't go so well because those movies kind of were bad to begin with. And they took it to a direction that was terrible. Well, Peele and Craig are here. I think for them, I'm glad they're doing something original and not just taking an idea that's been already done before. Which I'm more happy with originality than just a remake of something or a reboot of something. Like, originality is what I like. I mean, remakes, reboots, sometimes necessary, sometimes good. But originality, that's something that really needs to become a norm in movies instead of just rehashing the same thing over and over again. And this is a good example of something original, but also, like, odd from because I'm going into spoilers into this, and it's weird because the movie goes by so many different directions. Like, at first when I saw the intro of the movie or the trailer, I thought it was going to be some kind of screwed up thing where Bill Skarsgård's character, he was in an Airbnb, and I kind of rolled my eyes at the street name. It's called Barbari, and that's the first letters in Barbarian. It was just missing the A and N, which I thought that was silly. It was called Barbari. That was ridiculous. And I thought Bill Skarsgård was going to have something to do with it in a way. Because it looked like something was going on with him in his sleep, which I don't think we got an answer for that. Or maybe it was the character, where the mother character that terrorized him, and he probably thought it was a nightmare, I guess. And we have this girl, Tess, who was interviewing for a job, who was confused why the Airbnb was already taken over by someone else, which we never got an answer for in this movie, how the people who had that Airbnb stay so inept that they can't even tell if their place is free or not. It's like they assume it's free at that point. It's terrible management, but then again, it's in Detroit, so it's odd. And there was a lot of things that made me tense up in the movie, thinking, is Keith, the character Bill Skarsgård played, is he in on it? Is he a terrible person? Because in the beginning, it felt like he was playing up as a nice guy, sharing a bottle of wine with Tess and trying to get her to drink something, and she's not trusting of it, which, in my opinion, is each character's story, and I think I'm noticing this right now, is a link up to what is going on in the house. And because you see Tess, who is not trusting of Keith because there's a lot of bad guys out there. And we meet with Justin Long's character, who is an actor who was accused of sexual assault of a other actor he was with. and he's trying to say it wasn't him, until you finally later on learn it was him. He did actually assaulted this woman. And then you meet another character who, like, I guess at the time in the 80s, people were very trusting of anyone in a suburban neighborhood, that they're not, like, suspicious of anyone. They just think, oh, maybe they're just a shy person, or they're probably a good person, and there's clearly no demons in there. And then you find out they're terrible with what demons and skeletons done in their closet for what they were doing at the time, at point. Like, each story has a connection in a way with trust, and, like, also sexually mistreating people in general. Like, there's a theme to it, and it is shockingly a theme that I didn't expect to be happening in the movie. And I'm glad it doesn't get that preachy, because I was like thinking, oh, is it going to be a message? Are they going to be preaching to the choir? But no, there was like nothing. Like, there was no side. No one's picking a side, like men are bad or women are terrible for accusing men of doing things that they didn't do. No, there was no side. The side is there are good people and there are bad people. And bad people can take any shape. Like, anyone who is like a horrible person who just wants to have sex, or there's a person that just wants to start a fucking creepy ass incest cult, which is in this fucking movie. It's so weird, because this man who originally owned the house lives in this creepy ass, like, cave dweller like basement that kidnaps women, has their way with them, and let them, like, take care of the children, and making it a creepy, like, family of just one father and multiple mothers in the same bloodline. And it was like, ugh, God, that was creepy. That actually screwed me up. But there was dark comedy in it until it got to that part. It just became not funny anymore. Like, at first it was, where it was this, like, small, like, female creature that was, like, naked, and the only thing it knows is this VHS tape that somehow is still in good condition. I don't know how. Like, if that tape's been rewound so many times, there's no way that tape is in perfect condition. That thing would be like going nuts, or already, like, broken down and you can't see nothing. Like, the tape is already screwed from being rewound so many times. And it was this tape, this instructional tape, how to be a good mother and how to breastfeed. And it was this hilarious thing where you find out this mother character, who is a creature, is taking people down and forcing them to be their child. And I thought that was hilarious, because Justin Long is coming in like, what the heck is going on? And you see the freaking mother take out this, like, baby bottle and forcing them, like, drink this breast milk right now. And I thought it was so hilarious, especially when she was, like, forcing Justin Long to breastfeed because he refused to take the baby bottle. And then she's, like, doing the instructions of the tape. And I thought it was hilarious, and she just booped his nose. But it doesn't, and it was hilarious. I mean, thinking back on it, it's still funny, but when you're given more context of what happened, because in all honesty, I thought it was like like the guy who assaulted the woman in the beginning of the movie. Well, at the beginning, in the middle, in the flashback. I thought that was the child that came from that, and she was just raised to think she was a mother. And I thought it was like a kid that got older, and that's what happened. But no, it was like multiple women each time, which is really insane. And I'm like, God, that's creepy. And yikes, I didn't know. I'm more concerned wondering who, because I don't think the movie like answered who is in control of the Airbnb, who was like in control of the house. Like that's like kind of the major flaw I think is in this movie, is that it's not explained who took that care of that house and said like, yeah, let's put it in this neighborhood that's already beat up, destroyed, covered with homeless people and a psycho crazy person that's like under there, you know? Because I don't know if it was explained. I don't know if it was the guy who originally owned that house that is in control of the whole Airbnb situation, which is odd. I don't know if he is or not, because I don't know. There was no question answered, or maybe there was, because there were so multiple things I was thinking that could have been the direction of the movie. Like, was Bill Skarsgård like some kind of creepy dude that was part of a cult, and the Airbnb was a way to lure people in for sacrifices or something? It was like so many directions. I kept thinking in my head, what was it? And the answer was more screwed up. And the weird thing is, there were hints in Justin Long's story that made it look like, yeah, now you know what it is. And especially the flashback, there was hints. And it's like, huh? Because looking back, the movie told you, but it didn't tell you like in your face. It like dropped clues to what the plot, or what was going on down that cave, that creepy ass basement in the movie. Like, it dropped clues from the name of the film, or the name of the street, the the videotape, obviously, and Justin Long's character's accusations that became true at the end. All were like, there were like core like stuff in the film that linked to what happens under that basement, and you won't see it coming, and like until you see the ending, when all of it comes to play. And when a friend of mine, Kaiju, she sang the song Be My Baby, I think that's the name of the song, and I never knew why. And I think she told me that there's a reason why that song plays, and it's because the mother wants anyone that she sees to be her baby. And now I can't see that song the same again because of this film. And I'm still digesting. Thinking, like, was this a good film? Was this not a good film? Was this meh? I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. Like, there's some good things about it, yes. Like, that keeps you interested, that keeps you hooked. And hands down, obviously, it is better than after the travesty I saw with Halloween Ends. It's hands down, obviously, better. But right now, I'm not sure. Like, maybe it was good for one watch. If I watch it again, maybe I might not like it. Like, maybe it's only good for one watch, and that's it. But I'm not sure. I give it honestly, an 8 out of 10. Like, it was good suspense, it was good tension building. It became hilarious, probably intentionally at times. Eve Clean with Justin Long's character, which he is a dickhead, but he plays it up like he's doing a stupid comedy, which I think that was the intention. I think he's like, no, play it up like you're in a stupid romantic comedy or some rated R 40-year-old version or knocked up comedy or some shit. I don't know. Like, because that's his performance in this movie, is this asshole, but it's played up like he is hamming up that performance. And now I'm laughing at the thought of like someone like taking his voice and he's like, hey, he's the voice of Alvin and Alvin the Chipmunks. Let's high pitch his voice and let's hear him say these lines. I don't know why I was thinking that. That's ridiculous to me, but I know it was just a thought in my head. But yeah, I thought it was okay. I don't know. I'm still processing it. Like, yikes. Like, it's insane. But if Krieger makes more horror movies, I'm down to see what he does next. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this review on Saturday, and hope you like the video that another Friday the 13th video that I made for Halloween, since I'm still out of town and probably there won't be any new gameplays for me to record, but there's still some in the back burner of the in the channel, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ciao, darlings, and remember, Mom loves you.
Ow, ow, ow! Ow! Ow!
Our next guest, I don't know, shit. Jillian Barbari, everybody.
What are you doing? That's my job.
Ow!